So so welcome everyone. Thanks for coming. So today's lesson, right, is on playing to your strengths versus attacking your opponent's weaknesses. Okay, so playing to your strengths, I think, is like fairly intuitive, right? You usually pick a character because of what they're strong at. Yes. So like if I wasn't looking for like, you know, big damage, big counter hit, blah blah blah, I will not be playing Thor, right? So you generally start out by playing to what your character's good at. So for example, right, you'll be doing stuff like let's say a ball player, to most of the players who do not play ball, this is what makes ball to them, like. So if it was like, I don't know, a Brian, right? Just take okay, so like if I was a Brian, right? Very similar game plan. Yes. So the moves you see the most, right? Counter hit, launching. This one also counter launching. Also counter launching, right? If you didn't enjoy like getting big ass counter hits, you probably would not be playing Brian, right? You'll probably be picking another character. So then head to I don't know, Snake Edge if you jet up. Oh my god. And Conjure up, I don't know how to do, so don't you're not gonna see that today. But like you want to flex on people with execution, with big counter timing, but so that is attacking. So playing to your character strengths is very intuitive, and I think for those of y'all who were playing Tekken 7 last season, right, I believe most of y'all made it to high ranks by playing to your character strengths, which makes sense, yeah. But you may or may not have felt that up to a certain point it was very difficult to progress once you started meeting opponents who knew and understood what your character was about, and they actively avoided that. They started playing away from it, right? So sometimes playing to your character strengths is a good way to start, but it's not the only way to play your character. So because sometimes like your opponents, like when you play a matchup, right, depending on what character you're fighting, right, sometimes your opponent's strengths, right, are maybe the same as yours. Like let's say I'm Paul right now, I'm fighting a Brian, right, and we both want to do big ass counter hit. So what happens we all only fish counter hit launchers. I keep doing this, and then he keeps doing like back 1, 3+4. What happens? It's going to be a very explosive, volatile, out of control game where we all are getting counter hit all day, and somebody who gets like 2 counter hit launchers probably runs away with that round, right? So if you want to win someone consistently, right, playing like that will not get you there, because there is no inherent game plan advantage. You can still win, but your fundamentals and your timing, right, need to be extremely sharp compared to your opponent. So you can still do that, but it's going to take a lot more effort. Yeah, but it is still a viable way to play, don't get me wrong. You can always, like, instead of changing game plan, right, you can always just refine your current game plan's timing. Yeah, but there's also a limit to it, because let's say, right, instead of playing against a Brian, right, I'm playing against I don't know how to operate Link. So
get ready for the next battle.
I'm just talking over a static screen most of the time. But imagine the Link is in AOP. How do I go AOP? My god. Okay. So how do I do that? Okay. So let's say this is AOP. I'm gonna make her stay AOP all the way. But okay, like you see, if I'm the type that want to fish for big counter hit launchers, right, or want to do like my two-way grab mix up, yeah, to a link. I even have a bot to show you actually against Link 8. I'll show it to you at the end of the class because I just played against the Link earlier, which I think is a good demonstration of what I'm trying to teach today. So, you see, I need this. And like a few moves. I just change my game plan basically. It's not really a quintessential power because it hits AOP. And this because it hits AOP. I will do this also because it hits AOP. Okay, all the lows will hit. Right, so basically, if you play to your strengths, you'll get countered by this character. Yes. I think you all have experienced getting your shit crushed by AOP or some other evasive move that she has. Or you know her Kelly roll and blah blah blah, right? Because if your character is used to doing like the general game plan, your general game plan will not work against you. That's what she does. She makes you play away from your game plan, and she forces you to beat her by countering her toolkit instead. Stop on that. Okay, so if you want to have a sort of easier time beating your opponent, without having to refine your timer, because like in certain cases like this, right, when she's doing AOP, right, there is no refining your timing. Because your jabs are just going to go over your grab also, you know, your this also gonna get crushed. So no matter how you refine your timing, right, you're gonna hit air lah. Right? So it's not, it will not work. It simply will not work. Against some characters, right, your game plan, there's no refining your timing because they are hard countering your game plan. So one of the examples is like, let's say let's say Paul, Brian, big counter hit launching characters that have slow moves, right? They're fighting against a Link. You'll find that it's very difficult to get anything started if you do big moves. You have to do small moves, so do a lot of moves because AOP is low, yeah, she can't block one. You have to do a lot of power crush, mid power crush that can AOP. 3 points. But so depending on what your character has in its toolkit, you will have, you know, your own answers to Link. But some characters have it better than others for sure.
Hey Pung, your stream's choppy.
My stream choppy. Just to illustrate, basically, if your characters focus on this big counter tools, fighting Link is very troublesome. Very inefficient. Get crushed all day and then launched after your move gets through. So, similar to like, let's say it's not a Link. Let's say it's a fast character, like Law, or like
Get ready for the
so
next
same thing.
battle.
If you all have played against a Steve before, you all know that like Steve plays very fast, plays very safe. So like, I'm not gonna pretend to know how to play Steve lah, but he got his one, he got his last time. Not use so much anymore. He got there, one check. All these small points, and let's say you are not playing Paul, okay? Let's say you are a I'm not going to switch character, but just bear in mind. Let's say you are Kazuya. Let's say you're a Kazuya player or a Lisa player, and your reaction is very godlike. Anything your opponent wish, right? You do electric. You do like Alisa back 4-4. You do like I don't know, like Claudio hop kick. Yeah. So what happens when you meet a Steve who has a lot of these same approaching tools, and he plays very tight. There's not much moves, right? There's not a lot of like big ways for you to hop kick. You know, and these recovers fairly fast, forward, you know. So what happens if your playstyle, right, or your character is good at whiff punishment, but you're fighting a character that simply does not whiff a lot? So what do you do? So if you keep playing like that, right, you'll probably lose, frankly, because if like let's say imagine if I'm the Paul fighting a Steve, right, and I'm trying to do all my slow moves, or I'm like a Brian, I'm trying to do back 4 trying to do like 3+4, okay, counter all day, and then you get started because it's too different already. Side 13, 3+4 is like I think closer to 20. Back 1 is about 20. So you sometimes it's a matter of speed, and because the speed is so different, right? Sure, you can refine your timing, like I mentioned earlier, but it's gonna be like trying to thread a very tiny, like the window is so small. The window is so small that your success rate is going to be very, very, very low. Right? Even if you finally catch on to that Steve's attack timing, right, it'll probably take you a good anywhere from 2 to 8 matches before you can finally catch his timing, and then he can start changing his timing, and then you're like close to the end. So like, it's an inefficient way to play. It can still be played, right? It is, I would say, inefficient, and you might as well change your game plan. So what I mean by changing my game plan, so instead of using like this here we go! On the bottom left, but realistically, because you do see me put realistically closer to 24. So all these moves are too slow to fight against Steve. When I fight Steve, right, I throw these moves out very, very sparingly. Instead, what I do is I change my speed, to match him. Because he's playing fast, yes. So I also play fast. Because reps now I'm holding back. And I most characters are the character is the first one so it's like a 6 to 8 frame break window, which is considered to be unreactable. So go for it. Small this because I don't have time to do like this. This is one of Paul's power step 3. On counter hit, shoulder and all that. It says 19 there, right? Side step taken into account, it's really closer to 27. I should it's closer to 27. So if I do this, I'm gonna eat back one all day, 100%. So this move completely I cannot use. Completely I cannot use. Too safe only because it pushes time. Close range to me at minus rolls I can use. Other than that, like this size basically cannot use. So you basically attack your opponent's weaknesses. Not say weakness, in this case not really weakness, it's more like you play away from your strengths first. Because you're doing the moves that the character, like what the character is really known for. But you at least, even if so at the very least, right, if he wants to counter hit you, right, it's very easy to counter hit a move that's like versus like most of my characters' cases, right, I 13 you want to back one counter hit me, it's not so this is how you sort of neutralize the game plan of the character. And then when you're far away, so that he's approaching to get stuff. Steve has approaching to his but they're kind of slow. So you can do a combination of like up close you play fast, mid range you play like long range. Ideally you can learn the strings also, so you know what to duck under and what you cannot duck lah. But some of those strings that look safe are actually punishable as well. So of course you still need to do your homework. And some of them can be ducked and all that. But against like, we're not talking about the easy stuff, because if you are playing at a higher level, opponents don't really give you much punishable stuff to work on. So they play fast, so normally a person who picks claw, right, will not play fast. Here an example, like Brian. Tekken 7.
Get ready for the next battle.
Brian versus Steve is a pretty unfun matchup. Not necessarily that it's bad, but because what makes Brian all these get wrecked by downfall 2 and back 1. The timing is very hard to play. And even when it's tiny, they rarely counter hit. Why? Because Steve is playing with fast moves. That counter hit window, by the time the move window tends to be over already. Right? So how do you, let's say you're playing a Brian, right? You have to sort of throw away all the Either that or you have to reduce the frequency. So you have to do like dash, down 4, and this one because it crushes you. You gotta play for speed and you gotta play for air crushing. That is how you attack your opponents. So in Steve case it's not really a weakness, it doesn't really affect us. But it's more like how you can kind of gain some priority so that you don't constantly die to his back one company. So so let's say you are playing against like a Link, just to show you the various ways you can attack your opponents.
Get ready for the next battle.
So again, Link, right, known for
Bro, sorry, bro. I think you.
Sorry? What? Is it okay if I continue? If nobody says anything, I'll continue. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay.
like Link is known for AOP. So similarly, right? Like if you're Brian, you can't really use your highs anymore, right? Very difficult to use your highs unless you have conditioned her to stop using AOP. So how do you do that? You have to hit her where it hurts. You have to do mids that can reach AOP. You have to do lows. I mean all lows hit AOP, yes. She can't block AOP, but she can avoid all your highs. If she AOP duck, right, she can even avoid some mids, but she will always be weak to lows. Yes. So you have to, instead of playing like what your character is good at, right? Instead of playing what your character is good at with this, you're gonna end up dying. So similarly, you attack her with, but once you see, like most links, right, will always go into AOP unless you show that you can do it. Stuff like your normal damage, even though it looks like it's not much damage, but whatever character you guys are playing, right, don't overlook the accumulative strength of low. Don't look very big. These moves are good precisely because they don't do that. Because too much alone will let you go. You let you get a lot of these. And it's like going to defend. And by the time you already you've already gotten like huge mileage out of them. Because like if you were to fight like a Kazuya, right? If the Kazuya was doing a lot of hell sweeps, you would be concerned about blocking it. Right? But if the Kazuya was only doing down back 4, you'd be more inclined to just let him hit quite a few of those before you start blocking those. So yeah. So that's one example. Like you have to do mids that hit, do lows. You got like a grappler character like King. King I think also has like quite a bit of trouble against Link because like a lot of his power is loaded into his grabs, and against Link like most of the time the grabs just probably won't even connect, and then you get like punished for it. So you have to like, if you play to your strengths, you actually lose because Link's strength is basically making your primary game plan useless, and you have to attack her instead. You have to attack where she's weak instead. You have to attack her AOP, and once you hit her enough out of AOP, right, you will see that a Link player will gradually go into AOP less and less, and they'll be forced to play like normal Tekken with you, where she'll just like stand and like straight up. Then your highs can go, then your grabs can go, but you have to make her do that first. Right? So this is what I mean by attacking their weaknesses. Like sometimes it's a better game plan than just playing to what you do. So like if you're like okay, I'm not sure how you do that. So like I give you another example. Like
Sorry, Pungkon. Actually, somebody voice chat is open. He doesn't mute for the voice chat. Can he
it's okay.
mute
If he's not saying
first?
anything, it's okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, if he's
Sorry,
not saying
sorry.
anything, it might be. But if there's like a lot of background leaking there, I might mute him for a bit lah.
Yeah, actually there is. Might be better if you just mute him.
Oh, there is.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then wait, what's his
As
name?
literally, yeah, literally lah,
There we
literally.
go. There's a signal.
Okay. He already mute. Okay.
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. Then I won't server with him. Okay, so let's say for example, like now got problem character. Cheese character. Ultra cheese character. Victor, yeah?
Get ready for the next
So
battle.
Victor, right? Victor players, right, like to act pro and do wiring too. Game players, right? So like, if we do, I think a lot of the sort of victors you'll see at maybe purple ranks to blue to like Fujin plus, right? You'll see that they have a very simple game plan. They'll do like while running 2. Everyone's favorite move, yeah. So when you give him space, right, you feel like you suddenly very stifled usually because he'll do this, or he'll mix you up with this. Either he mix you up or he misinput lah. Sometimes right with Victor players I never know. He'll mix it up with this. And you see that like once in a while he'll do you block it, he'll fish for this as a counter hit. Very typical, right? Because like after he look enough running 2 on you and you feel like you have to press, right, he look for that timing and then he launch you and then you feel like the whole game is fucked up, right? So how do you attack his game plan, right? Because if you play again, if you play to your, wow, they're not good. Okay, so if you play to your strengths, right, let's say you're like big counter character, then again you're going 50-50 with his wall, and if he misses you, that's a launcher too. So maybe sometimes you counter him, sometimes he counter because he's also counter launcher, but most times you will lose because he get to start up from further than you, and his move has like a longer active window compared to like Brian's back 1 or 3+4 for example lah. So if you play like that, again you can win if you can really nail down his timing and always counter hit him, but realistically how many times can you do that? And more importantly, during the times that you do not do that, does he end up just snowballing you to hell? Because he do like 1 warring 2 counter hit on you, right? Combo. Then towards the end of the combo after a tornado he goes into the hit. Then after that it's all his hit shenanigans that chip you a lot of great health with the don't know what expulsion and the fucking he goes into stance and he sticks his sword into the ground, and although you block it, right, the chip damage is so high that it feels like you got hit by something anyway, right? And then he has his I think his hit smash, there's one hit smash low that does like a lot of damage also, which is like minus 14 I think. So again, if you play to your character strengths, it's very hard. That's why Victor is so annoying for so many players. So instead, what do you do? Okay, because I'm not a Brian.
Get ready for the next
As
battle.
an example, how do I deal with Victor players? Because I met my match, right? So basically it's the same. The one weakness of Warning 2 is that it has a significant startup. Yes. So at range 0, he can do instant Warning 2 on you, sure, but the vulnerable window is very high. Right? So if you were to imagine if you are always playing at this range, right, you just you get interrupted, you might even get counter hit, you might get launched. Yes. Attack the weaknesses of his Warring 2. One is that it's slow. Second weakness is that it is steppable. I wouldn't say like it's linear because it's not easy to step it. But sometimes you will see Victor players, right? They will purposely try to run away from you. Once you are very good at not letting him start up, then he can only be forced to do like his other fast moves which are way less scary and doesn't give him plus. Right? So you see Victor players try to run away from you, and then they'll go to about this spacing, right? Then they start running to you again. Right? So obviously, if you are doing a very good job of getting close to him, when he backdashes, you can't just mindlessly go in after him, because he will just like maybe backdash and go down for it. Then you die. Right? So that's okay. When you backdash and he backdashes, you backdash it, you let the clock run down again. He'll eventually do his Warring 2, that's his goal, right? He wants to put to drill yourself to do like side step left, side step left, side step left. Right? So that if you step it successfully, you can launch. The whiff punish window is definitely there. You can and then if you mistime it and or he happens to realign with you, it's fine. You can still block on time because the move is slow. Yes, remember. So you attack these two weaknesses of his Warring 2, and once his Warring 2 is gone, he pretty much is forced to play normal Tekken with you, and he has to take very big risks on his low. On his low suit, if he wants to get big damage or if he wants to counter it, but it's only a counter launcher. So when you attack him, he raise you. You do fast moves, and when you do like minus or block moves, right, you don't go and like do. Like let's say he does a move that's like -1, -2. You don't go, don't swing for the fences and move like this. Like, to low sweep you after as a Abari and you might get interrupted and launch. Like, but if you do -2, he will never be able to start that low sweep as well. And then if he does like plus frames on you, right, then don't risk Abari too much because he might go for that low sweep and counter launch also. So attacking the other annoying part about him, which is his low, is that it is only a counter launcher. If you do not mash into him, he has a very, very low chance of counter hit launching you while still taking on the same risk of being ducked and getting blocked by you. So this is how you attack them. As you find the strong moves that they have, you see what kind of game plan you can come up with against it. So like against his Warring 2, do you at win 0 or you stay far away and you start step left? Ideally you do both so that it's not too predictable. And against the low, when you are long range you don't really worry about the low, right? So at long range like here you just stand block for sure. Then at close range, right, you start up his low, or even if he does the window to counter launch you is very low. Right? So this is what I mean by attacking your opponent's weaknesses. You find out you basically work around their strengths and then you counter it. So that is like I would say at a higher level, right, it's what separates a lot of intermediate players from like hitting the next level. Because a lot of intermediate players tend to be very good at executing their own character game plan. Like they're super ultra comfortable with doing what their character is good at. But unfortunately Tekken is not a single player game. It is, you're fighting somebody and that person is also going to be doing trying to do what he's strong at against you. And if you're lucky, maybe your game plan sort of can match up with him. But if it does not, in scenarios like this where he gets to do Warring 2 from like range 4, then obviously not many characters can compete with that, right? So you kind of have to switch your game plan and attack his weaknesses instead in order to come out ahead. In my experience, that's how I felt I was able to beat like a lot of victors towards the end lah. Because initially I was also struggling with like thinking, wow, this Warring 2 is so bullshit, it hits from so far, plus on block counter launcher, and then he has a frame type like I think counter hit mid launcher that's safe also. So if you ever try to Abari at the wrong time, he can just counter hit launch you. Or if you ever try to Abari something small like Jack, right, he can Warring 2 into a grab and it's technically a counter hit. So he just straight up like beat you there also. So you have to be very patient. If he's on plus, reset neutral. Yeah. Once in a while you try to is okay. So but otherwise like you really have to beat his Warring 2 so that he will stop using it. Once you stack enough of it or stack enough of it, right, you'll see that a victor player, right, if it's possible, will actually stop using the Warring 2 because they're like scared of getting killed for it already. Then you see that Victor actually is not that scary after. Right? And the last part about attacking Victor, because since we're talking about weaknesses, right, is that his block punish up until -14 lows, right, he's standing 4 so or at least like when I do my QCF3 on Victors, they always punish for standing 4. This is another of his weakness. When you do like lows up until -14 or lower, right, his punish is very small. Means doing lows on him, right, actually has very good value because you don't get punished very hard for it. he's strong when he gets to attack you, but his block punishment is actually not that scary, right? So if you can find ways to up the tempo and bring it to and like sort of counter his offensive game plan with like either fast gameplay or even like grabs, can sort of stifle the pressure, although you will get hit too, right? But depending on your character, your power crush might give you more value. So it really depends on what character has. Like for example, like Paul has this power crush. So if he does warring 2 and armor through that round, that trade all day. I do this trade 4 times. 45 times 4 is 180. I win. So if he insists on using warring 2 all the time, it's as simple as that. So doing power crush, if you have a good power crush, it will also stop him from like using warring 2 so frequently. So that is another sort of weakness is that his warring 2, although it's very strong, it can be power crush. It can be stuffed up with fast moves. It can be interrupted with rolls. It can grab if you're close. That's why your spacing is very important. Remember for those who were here last time, during my last session, we talked about spacing. Right? So spacing against every character, right, is part of your game plan, and it all ties in together. Like the spacing you want to maintain, right, it's not always just for say with punishment, because a Victor basically do not. He got a lot of long range tools, approaching tools. That unless you stack, you're not gonna really whiff punish him. You lateral like movement like this to cause him to whiff, very very uncommon, unless the Victor is an absolute scrub lah. But we're talking fighting good Victors, like you have to stack. You have to your defense, your offense, your defense too far from so attacking the wings. Okay. So do lows, play fast in range 0 or play slow at long range and side step. Yeah, because at long range you have to respect his warring too. Or once in a while you can abare with a power crush. If you think you can catch his timing, you can go for a timing attack power crush. But other than that, like actually fighting Victor is that simple. That's why if you ask some of the higher level players, you might have heard some of them say that Victor at high level is actually not very strong. This is the reason why. But you have to be able to stack the warring 2 at range. You have to be able to not mash. You don't have to block it. You don't have to block that scary low counter hit ratio. You don't have to block it. You just have to not get counter hit by it. And you'll find that he takes very long to kill you. You don't mash into warring 2, you don't mash into that low, like what does he have? You know? Obviously you don't like crouch too much for it because the Victor will adjust the ratio accordingly. But you know, if you're playing safe and you're letting him attack you all the time, but once it's minus frames, right, it's just don't let him go to range. If you get a small minus, right, don't just like backdash and reset neutral for no reason. Like take your small one, up, small up, like do something. That's the only way you're going to be able to attack Victor outside of a power crush.
Pokon, sorry Pokon. The quality video, I mean like the video I think is very heavy. Because you put, it makes it laggy lah. I mean like you can, okay. Yeah, 720 I think. It's okay.
So this video is very standard because I only play Paul and I don't really know how to operate this opponent character, so I can't really make this lesson a bit more illustrative. But I hope that like my points are still getting through to you game plan against their key tools so that their strengths turn into weaknesses. That's basically what this lesson is about. Turn their strengths into weaknesses. The warring tool that they love to spam so much, you sidestep every time they launch it once, right, maybe they lose already about 40 to 60 HP on pokes before they finally get to throw once away, and then you block it. So like what's left? Then you reset neutral again, and then you're back to your power crush for long range. Then when he freezes up, you go close. literally unbreakable. Right, there's a unique sound cue. By now. So again, you see, you attack. This is how you attack his weaknesses. Attack his kit instead of playing to your kit. Attack your opponent's kit instead. That's basically this lesson. 10 more minutes.
Any tips for facing Xiao Yu? No?
Facing Xiaoyu. Oh, I was covering it earlier. I'll just quickly cover it again. It's okay.
I think Brian. I
Playing
got.
Brian, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know much about Brian's kit, so I'll have to elaborate it more. But I think Paul and Brian's kit have a lot of similarities.
Similarly, yeah.
Get ready for the next battle.
Yeah, let me just talk about. Yeah, basically, for those who were here earlier, like y'all probably already heard me cover this, but I'll just try to cover it quickly. So basically, the number thing you're afraid of about Xiaoyu is his AOPS. It's an AOPS. So if you do like this one will hit you, so like very risky. But like watching high, will get quite AOP. So basically, you do more loads. You cut. You don't just do more loads. Highs, right? You have to sort of go against your natural instinct, because normally when you play against literally every other character, you can play a very balanced game like jabs, like highs, mids, you can press them all, jabs, you can press them all. But against Ling, right, what's so difficult about her is that her AOP makes all your makes your reps with now like shit lah, like his data is gone. Forget about it. Even like a Kazuya player, you don't get to electric her much or at all lah. For any of y'all who are like Mishima players who fight against Ling, you probably find that you don't really get to electric her much compared to a lot of other characters. Yes, because you have to respect the AOP. Your tempo slows down as well because you have to respect the AOP. Now, of course, she still has all the other moves to work out, to be careful of, all the strings and stuff. So basically what you want to do is you want to find your character's moves that can hit you. So for Paul it's for your mids, find mids as fast and as safe as possible. So for Paul it's 15. So when I play against Ling, right, I will play a very compact number of moves only. Maybe about 6 to 7 moves at best. Because everything else is dangerous, everything else will get me killed. Jabs. I use very little. I'll do more boost because it can still get because it's down 4 and maybe I've got a move that's like heavy minus and range 0, right? I know you're not supposed to do this because normally it's not block damage. But sometimes on heavy minus you have to impose a mixer. That's just how it is. So basically do mid and AOP, do follows, if you have a power crush, if you have a mid power crush that can AOP is even better. I know a lot of characters don't have it. I know like Brian in your case also does not have it because his power crush is the mid punch, right? So unfortunately you can't use your power crush as liberally as like Paul. But that being said, right, if I time this shit, Link can launch me. Because Link has Link has an I-14 standing launcher. So like I have pretty confident in my timing and how to do this. It all goes to shit also. So yeah, if you have a mid power crush that can hit AOP, like it's even better. If not, you have a high power crush, you can still use it once in a while, but you have to adjust how you use it. You wouldn't be hitting her out of AOP, but you will be aiming to armor through her attacks out of AOP. So the timing is different, firstly. Yeah, you have to do it later. Compared to like if I think she's going to enter AOP now, I can do it. You have to see her enter AOP and then I think she's going to do a mid or high AOP. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that is pretty much the lesson. I have a VOD that I should show you on how to fight a Ling lah. You'll see that I use very little of my power tools. Yeah, so like let's play one.
Get ready ready for the next
Very little
battle.
heist, very little slow moves, except for my power crush because I can armor through and because it has good range. A lot of keep out, right? Because one of Link's weaknesses is that her approaching tools are not necessarily the best, and
Get ready.
she's really dangerous when she gets up to range. Reset new see, I'm always backdashing because she was plus after. Oh, why is it like this? Sorry, I should pause like this. So again, tricky here and evade lah. So we both evade each other. Okay, whatever. Plus again, backdashing. Because I don't fall for it. Look at it. She just tried to counter hit launcher on me. If I thought that was my turn and I went in with jab, right, that would have crushed me, I believe. Right, and if I had done something slow again, it would have counter hit launched me because that move was like what, I-13, as you can see on the bottom right. It's only I-13. I don't have a move that can challenge that except shoulder, but shoulder is launchable, so I can't like play like that all the time. So backdash to neutral, doing my keep out move that can hit far and is safe. 3-2 is not safe, by the way, for any power players here, right? Don't do 3-2 like what I just did. I did that because I thought it would reach, but I did not. But like, you should just press 3 alone. Okay, then do lows, you see. She will approach me, power crush. Got the timing. Play some fucking mind game on me. But by the way, right, you can like this is scary because this is the animation goes into a low. So I duck low, fuzzy D. But once I see it's not right, I know that she can do a mid because she cancelled it. So it goes into a mid and then she cancelled it and then go into this AOP low. So this low, right? If any of y'all are having trouble with Link, I encourage y'all to go and practice in the lab. This low is reactable. It is borderline reactable. Sorry, no. It's not borderline reactable. It is reactable. It is reactable. You just need to see enough. So yeah. AOP is scary because of this, yeah. But if you can react to this low, right, you'll never be scared of AOP again. Because you'll just basically stand block and block all the mids and highs. And then whenever she does this low, right, you react and block and float her. You never have to be worried about AOP again. Go and highly encourage you all to go and learn this. It will completely change the way you view the Link matchup. You won't be afraid of it. You won't really be afraid of AOP anymore, and that will give you a lot of confidence moving forward to play the rest of the. So see, I was +1. I still backdash because she has a sidestep mid that's very evasive. I'm sure you all know what it looks like. I'm not sure what the input is, but I'm sure you all have encountered it. So I backdash in case she have barrier. See, lost my freaking composure and did that move. See, kena AOP. And then get spooked because I whiff, right, and I duck even though I didn't need to, because like I said, you should be stand blocking and then just react to the low, right? But because I whiff my move, I got anxious. It goes into side step. I went for a mid. I went for a low that I know will track, because firstly she can't block in that stance, and as long as he tracks, like, she's bound to get hit. So every time I see her do this, right, I was see, minus what? 11. No, I do shoulder turn because she needs more time to turn around because she's recovering from back turn. So this I-11, right, what I can recommend is if your character has an I-11 grab, you can just grab her out of it also, and it will be a back turn grab. It deals like 50 damage, which is pretty sick. So yeah.
Get ready.
Like, basically how I'm playing the match. I'm letting her go too much. Once in a while. Once I feel yeah.
Can I ask a question? Can you like do the basic moves? But like usually react to Ling sidestep, right? And you respond with a demo man.
Yeah.
Do like the basic lows work?
Do basic lows work? Okay, you'll have to test because Demo Man, right, is unique in the sense that it has very good tracking, right? So I believe you could do like, by basic low, I believe you mean like a generic down 4, yes? So the problem with that
Or
is
don't-
if she steps to your right, you will hit her. But if she happens to step to the left, as you saw in the previous time this happened, she stepped to the left and my demo man still tracked her, right? If she stepped to the left, your generic downfall might whiff. So you have to find a option that either you can depending on what character you play, you gotta try to see if you can find an option that tracks. And you gotta press it fast, obviously. But otherwise, like you gotta find an option that tracks. So as because she can, when she's going sideways, right, she cannot block. So the only thing that she's really cheesing you with is her sidestep. So if you use linear moves, you'll get evaded and then you'll get punished. But if you use a move that can track well and is fast enough, you will wreck her instead lah. Right? So
What's our window here? Around 15 frames? Because your demo man is 15 frames.
yes, that's right. So I'm not sure exactly what the frame allowance is. I go for 15 and I would recommend don't go more than 15. Just so that, because even if let's say the limit is 17, right, but sometimes if you're not used to seeing this transition, you will need extra time to react to it. So the faster your moves are, the smaller the window of the margin of error lah. The lower the margin of error. So the faster you move, the more you make it in time, and you don't have to worry about like, oh shit, what if I don't press this enough and she actually counter hits me because I'm too slow. So starting with a faster move, you don't have to worry about that. So I would recommend like just go I-15 and most probably see what your character has also lah. Because I would think that because she's back turn, right, and she's stepping to the side, actually you can just use grabs, which I think every character has. Yeah, because grabs are now tracking. And if you catch her back turn, right, it's a 50 damage grab. Back turn grab, and there's no breaking back turn grabs. Yeah. So I would think maybe y'all can try going to grab her if she goes back turn like that. I don't know if she can go AOP. I don't know if she can duck from back turn or not. But like maybe mix it up with either a low or grab, or if you have a mid that tracks well and is fast, like go for it too. If you're like a Huarang, right, maybe go for like a down 4, which is a pretty fast homing mid. If you're like a law, go for back 4, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then okay, I'll just let it play out. Okay, so that's a hard 50-50. I had to eat it. So okay. Okay, I have to eat that again. See, go for my evasive move. If you have an evasive move like this, maybe you got like Feng's up 4-2, that kind of stuff. Asuka sidestep 2, you could try for it. Because like at this point, look at my HP. I'm close to dying, so I had to bet on something because I wasn't confident of blocking correctly again. So because I blocked wrong twice in a row, so I was like, let's try something. So yeah. Oh, this one is damn unfortunate. She went for a jumping move and I hit dash. Okay, you know what? Short lesson on hit. Just a quick note on hit, because that's not the main topic for today's lesson. But your hit, right? You saw her when she did airborne move and you do hit, it's a pound. Yeah. So sometimes if you save your hit to the very end like I did, because I know some players play styles, they tend to use hit very early and they just want to like steamroll their opponent. That's fine, that's a good way to play. But also if you happen to save it to the very end like what I just did, then you do get the advantage of like when you are like trying to close out a round and you're sort of like mid minus, like -4 to -6, you can just press your hit and can just press your hit burst, and you can just armor if they retaliate, you armor throw and you hit them. If not, you get plus wins and you can continue attacking to keep up the tempo on her. So just something to consider for hit lah. I think in the future we'll probably do a slightly more detailed session on hit mechanic, but that's for next time lah, and I don't want to spend too much time on that. But yeah, just so you know. See, like look at the spacing. See, she's trying to like fucking bait me to go in with all those kind of like shenanigans, right? So I'm not going in, I'm not buying until she goes for it, right? Then I press my keep out. See, like, because now she has to approach me because I'm not buying into her sort of like baits, right? Then she feels she has to come in. Then I press my keep out, and like it's as simple as that. It's a launch, So look at like the spacing that I play. Look at the move choices that I use. Very little highs. You'll probably not see me use a QCB4 very often. See, she pressed that homing high, expecting that I will go in. or hoping that will go in lah, at least. So again, don't buy into it. Force her to approach me. See, I sidestep that move, but AOP is bullshit. Fuck this game. But yeah, this is minus 12. Okay, I should have punished that with 12 lah. Sorry, but see, once she goes into it, I just demo, man. See, like that's it, oh. It can really, fighting a Link can really be this simple. Notice, like, if you really don't go into them and press, right, which is probably what a lot of your characters are geared to do, go at counter hit launching and blah blah blah, right, is where you get killed by Link. But look at how I make the Link come to me, and then I press my keep out tools, attacking her stances effectively, blocking the low through reaction, and it's like the Link matchup becomes a lot more manageable. See, but it comes with the change in mindset, where I'm not playing to what Paul is strong with. I didn't really like impose heavy 50-50s or like run them down. I didn't do like a single hop kick. Yeah, I just like play keep out, make her come to me, defend the stances correctly, and then like it's as simple as that. It's really as simple as that. And this is supposedly like a top character, you know. So yeah, and like no. By the way, I'm like not talking shit about this Link, you know. This Link is like a pretty good player, like. It's just that when you attack the kid, right, you kind of force her to play outside of her comfort zone, outside of her core strength, which is AOP, and her stances, and then you force the character to play normal Tekken with you, right? Then that's where you can start to shine and get back to what you're strong at. But if you do not break their game plan first, they will never be incentivized to play normal Tekken with you. So this is the Link matchup lah, essentially. In a long set, like this player can play fundamental, but because it's a first to two, like, you know, it just goes by very quickly lah. But in a long set, this player can play fundamental one, right? So I just hope that like through that replay you can see changing your mindset and attacking the opponent weakness sometimes is a way more effective strategy than playing what your character is strong at. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the end for today's lesson. I can do Q&A for a bit. So if y'all have any questions about today's lesson, yeah, feel free to ask. Yeah, but like if what I've said today, sorry, before we start Q&A, if what I've said today doesn't make a lot of sense or like isn't really clicking for you, maybe if you want, you can PM me or you can ask me right now. But if not, like if you take some time to digest today and you still feel like it's a bit difficult to understand, or like maybe some parts you are not so sure about, please feel free to ask me, because I really think, because I'm seeing a lot of like some of you players here, I know you all are like OGs also, and you all played to a pretty high rank last season, and really this is one of the things that's keeping you from hitting that next level. It really is this. It really is this. You know, as I said earlier, for some of you who were not, who weren't here earlier, a lot of you are very strong at piloting your own character. You are very familiar with your character. You execute it very well. But you know, Tekken is not a single player game. You gotta, sometimes the best way to win your opponent is to counter them instead of doing what you're good at. So in the long run, when you're playing, as if you're hoping to be like, to get better and better at the game, right? Then it's really this is one of the core things that separates like the sort of advanced players from the intermediate players. Players like myself and Jacket, from like some of the more like intermediate players where maybe you feel like you also played like the whole of Tekken 7 and you feel like you might have hit a wall. The part of the wall is this: attacking the opponent's game plan. It really is this. So if you don't know, if you find it like you cannot really, this idea is not clicking for you yet, and you feel like you want a refresher, right, please ask me, because I think this really will take a lot of the intermediate players here to the next level. Yeah, so okay, with that, right, if y'all got any Q&A stuff, please feel free to ask me. I'll look through the Tekken Dojo chat as well. Yeah, sorry the video is choppy. I think it's a Discord thing where if there's a lot of people viewing, like it just gets choppy no matter what. we're already on server level 2 and it's still doing this to us. So yeah, but anyway, I didn't really show a lot of stuff on video. It's really just me talking. So yeah. Any questions? About today's topic or other thing also can.
Just realize when you want to parry the hit smash move, right? I automatically get hit.
If you want to parry the hit smash,
Yeah.
you can't parry hit smash.
Oh really? Yeah.
Not to my knowledge. Have you ever successfully parried a hit smash before?
Because I did try Ryan and the Snake Eye forward 1+2. Oh, I still got hit.
Oh, I think you cannot one. You cannot parry hit smash and you cannot power crush through hit smash as well. You can only beat them by making it whiff entirely or you armor it with Rage Art. Oh, if it's sidesteppable, yeah, sure. But a lot of hit smashes have insane tracking, so I would not recommend that. Yeah,
So
like
just block.
you have to block or you interrupt with a low or you grab them out of it. It'll be a counter hit grab and they cannot block.
Okay.
So yeah, I recommend that. So I will cover that in the in the session about hit. But basically, I'll also talk a bit about it now lah. So basically, when the opponent is in hit, right, there are two types of play styles when the opponent enters hit. Some of them either will immediately go into hit smash because they want the plus or they want to impose a hard mix up. You usually see this with King players, Dragunov players, but you also see some characters stay in hit to the very end because the hit empowers some of their moves, right, to become very very strong. So they keep looping it. So examples of that would be like Devil Jin, Lee will keep trying his bloody 4-4-3. Yeah, so if you keep playing scared during that period, it's not always the best because I know it makes sense to wait out the hit, and I think that's true of characters who tend to want to spend their hit early. It's a playstyle thing. You never know when they will press the hit smash, of course. But through the first to two, or if you're playing alongside even better, you can hopefully find out, be able to observe what your opponent likes to do when in hit. Is he the type that uses it immediately, or does he want to wait until like the absolute end of the hit bar before he presses his hit smash? Because if he's the first type, then of course you just wait it out. But if it's the second type, then you need to actually go in and attack him. You need to go in and attack him, interrupt him, so that you waste his hit bar will be ticking down, and you'll be burning it while he's not attacking you. Because if he's not attacking you, he can't chip you, he can't do empowered moves, he can't do hit empowered moves, all that. So grab him, do rolls, whatever, blah blah blah. Like go and it's actually a better idea to attack opponents who prefer to stay in hit for longer. That's basically it lah. Okay, so yeah. Any other questions?
Me Pongkon. Actually, I have a replay against Paul, but I don't know the matchup. Can just a short review lah, Pongkon. Just a short review.
Oh, okay.
Is it I share it on the DM or just chat?
You can DM me and we can review that separately lah. Since this is more like a one-on-one thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But later lah, right after this we can do that.
Okay. It's okay. Thank you.
Okay. So anyone else have any questions? Let me see. Someone asked, down back 2 doesn't scoop AOP anymore. By Taiga. Okay, Paul's down back 2 I assume you're referring to. So it does, but the move is damn slow. So and it's very linear. So I don't really make it part of my neutral move kit. I don't really use it in neutral for that reason. So yeah, isn't down for Brian slow homing move? What does Brian down for look like? Let me see. You have a 12 frame mid on Brian?
Slow homing move.
Got me? Let me see that.
Yeah, it's a homing move. The one the
Wolf's tail. It's a kick.
the kick. It's the kick like very slow.
Very slow. But you said, but someone said 12 frame or? Is it not 12 frame?
I was talking about Mishima.
Oh, you're talking about Mishima. Mishima got down 4 me?
Oh, you talking about the leg like that? How say like similar like the 4-4-3-1. I don't know what that. What move like?
Oh, okay.
You temporarily mentioned about Mishimas when like anti-link.
Oh, okay.
You just
Okay.
press down forward 4 for that.
Yeah. Do your like mates that can hit AOP lah. But if you're talking about generic down forward one, right? There's a high chance she evades it, especially if she goes into AOP duck. So when you test it for your own characters, right, do test it against AOP duck also, because if she AOP ducks your mid successfully, right, and it happens to a lot of mids in this game, by the way, she can launch you if she's quick enough. So do be careful about that. So of course the safest way is to still do lows, because but that being said, like from AOP she can go into hop kick lah. So you will have to do a pretty even ratio of it so that she won't feel incentivized to hop kick. If you keep doing low, she'll just do hop kick, and then it's the end of you already lah. So yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
Hong Kong, sorry. Basically, can I ask about why sometimes we are getting nervous on the tournament lah? I mean, like, not tournament only. I mean, like, and the ranked high level lah. I mean, like, I feel too nervous when I'm already against like high level people, high level player. How to handle this? How to handle the nervous actually?
How to handle nervousness? You're talking about in like lobby or in tournament?
In general, I mean
in general. Okay. To tournament, right? I cannot speak to that because I don't play tourneys. And it is the first to two. I understand why you'd be nervous. But talking about mid long set, right? Like let's say you're just playing lobby against like a very very strong player, and you maybe go into it feeling like, man, I'm gonna get wrecked. Maybe I probably can't win this dude. Like I just hope I don't like, get wrecked too hard, right? So how not to be nervous is to just I find is to just play the game. Have some like when you go into the game, right? Like when you are playing the game, either you ask the person or the person asks you, right? Either way, have some faith in yourself lah. Because if you ask the person, you probably believe like you got something worth showing. That's why you ask the strong player to play, right? And if the strong player asks you, right, the strong player also probably thinks that there's something about your gameplay, right, that is like worth playing against. So don't be afraid of like, or don't be worried about like, oh, I'm gonna get wrecked or what. Like I can tell you from my experience lah, because when I play, how do I say this? There's no very like it sounds like bragging, but like when I play players that are weaker than me, right, sometimes the score is like very overwhelmingly in my favor, but I don't feel like it's like when I beat like when the session goes in my favor, I don't feel like, oh, this guy is trash. It's like probably I have to work very hard for the wins too, and it's like it's an active learning session for me as well. So there is something worth learning when you're playing a strong player. There's something worth learning for both of you, right? So when you go into the session, right, just play and try your best. Just play and try your best, and like you're in that session for a reason. If your gap was too far, or like you're not worth playing against, right, that person will not ask you for matches, or that person will not accept your match request. That is my take on it lah.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there any other questions? If not, I'll end this session in like, I don't know, 2 minutes. Y'all can think about like the main lesson. I hope y'all really try your best to understand it. I'll upload the VOD. If there's some parts that you need to feel like you want to hear again, like please watch the VOD, because I think this lesson is really quite important. I can't stress it enough. This lesson is really quite important for those of you who are trying to really get serious about playing the game. For those of you that were here in my previous session, right, I remember saying at the end that when you actually get past all the cheese, and you can beat out the cheese, and you can force a player to play fundamental with you, right, that is when the game is really really fun. I still believe that, even though this game is like, there's a lot of bullshit going on with like some overloaded characters, blah blah blah, but in the end it's still Tekken, right? So when you can make your opponent play like this, right, is you really find the game very fun one. So I really encourage you all to go and really try your best to absorb today's lesson. Yeah.
do you think the game will get some balance the next after maybe after Eddie will or something like that?
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so.
I think that needs some character needs some balance.
I think so. But
I think Paul also need balance as well.
I mean,
Cannot lah.
everybody needs some adjustment lah. Like I think Paul has some overloaded stuff that needs to be tuned down that I personally am not using because I think it's like bullshit. Like Paul's down forward 1+3 into Death Fist in heat, right, can break balcony from like range 7. It is crazy. Then goes into combo. It goes down after the balcony, right, and goes into a combo. So it's too cheap lah. Like I'm not using that lah. Like I don't want to use that lah because I am fairly certain it will be nerfed, and even if it isn't, like I don't want to win like that lah. Like I'm trying to play the playstyle I'm trying to play. I'm trying to like play a more defensive playstyle, hard read opponent, and adjust to what they're doing. That's where Tekken is really fun for me lah. For my perspective anyway lah.
Been trying to play defensive.
Yeah, I know it sounds funny because like it's Tekken is like very offensively geared right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just taking it as like a challenge to still make it work lah. Yeah. So yeah. Maybe if there's no other questions, we can end it here.
I mean, don't have any.
I mean, Pungkon, last question before.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I have a lot of questions.
It's
Because
okay.
like this is very important. Pungkon, you said your opponent. I mean, like what you want to share for us is like, we adapt what kind of opponents, what kind of opponent does right to us, or
Correct.
is it like
Because if you only play to what your character is strong at, right, what's gonna happen is it will become a very explosive, volatile matchup. And if the opponent character is very evasive, like I don't know, Ling, Eddie's coming out, yeah. And what other evasive characters are there? Like I don't know, like let's say don't talk about evasion, let's say talk about speed. Let's talk about speed, right? So fast characters like Law, Steve, Lee maybe. If you go and play like your slow counter hit launchers, right, as like Brian or Paul, you also will get like counter hit a whole bunch. You'll get interrupted and you never get to start your moves because they are pressing at like I-10 to I-15 at most of the time. So if you keep playing to what your character's strength is, right, you only kill yourself. So you will have to match their gameplay and slow them down first, then your slow moves can come out. So I hope you can see basically the idea, the greater idea at play is that game planning goes in a circle. It is circular. When you counter your opponent's plan A, right, he's forced to go to plan B, then you can play your plan A, right? Because obviously everybody wants to play what they're strong at, but everybody also wants to stop what their opponent is strong at. So you would have to learning both is important. It's not just about piloting your character, it's about countering your opponent is equally important. If you all saw if you all pay attention during the link VOD, and if you're not right, like you can go back to the VOD and watch it again. Like watch my spacing, watch my move choices. It's really all just to counter the link, right? I'm not doing, except for Demo Man, I'm not really doing like any heavy Paul stuff, and that Demo Man is not really used as a mix-up, it's used as a counter to her back turn sidestep. So it's a totally different use case already, So if you let like a normal Paul player watch me play like that, right, they might think like I'm not really playing like a normal Paul. But if you want to win a link, you have to play in a way that beats her style. You don't get to play your game one. That is Link's strength. She makes most characters unable to play their game. So yeah. Okay.
So I mean, like in the conclusion, the Link. I mean, like Link players wants us to press right at the some.
Yeah, they want to bait you to go in, then they duck your stuff or evade your stuff, right?
Yeah.
So she can't evade you. The core idea is this: she cannot evade you if she has to come in. She can only do one thing at a time, right? She can only evade you if you're approaching her, because she has to be standing still to evade, or at most she sidestep a bit only, or from back turn. But if you're standing far away from her, all those things don't matter. And if she comes to approach you, right, then she has to run, she has to dash forward to approach you, right? And when a character is dashing, right, every character is the same. I hope like that makes sense. This is how you game plan at a higher level lah. You really find these windows where they are not them and they are just a normal character. So no matter if it, even for ultra evasive character like Eddie, Ling, once they have to approach you, they have to be standing. They have to be moving towards you. Yeah, this is universal. So when you force them to come to you and then you do your approaching, you do your keep out, right, to stop their approach, they will get hit or they have to dash block and respect you, right? But while they're doing all this, they're never gonna evade you because they have to move forward. So you see John in the clip, like I force her come with me, I just do down 4-2. I do neutral 3. I do down 1, I do my lows. And she eat almost all of it. It is that's how it is, lor. This is how you beat a Link, and that Link is like one of the best Links in C. It's not some chump, So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, like if there's nothing else, then we can end here. Thanks for coming. Yeah, again, if you all need a refresher on this, please you can PM me or something, or like you can if this side is not clicking for you and you feel like you need to watch the VOD again, please go watch the VOD again. Really important lesson today. Yeah. So okay, that's all. Thank you for coming, guys. I will stop the recording now.